Hello friends, welcome back to Student Blog. In this video, we will be discussing about how to configure Microsoft failover cluster uh, using 2012 R2. This is same as like same process which will be followed in 2016 as well as 2019. So why I'm doing it on 2012 R2 is like in this same series, I will be showing how to upgrade our Windows 2000 R2 failover cluster to 2016 as well as 2019, from 2012 to 2016 and 2019. Why? Because Windows 2012 R2 support will be coming into an end. So couple of environments where people are using 2012 R2, and in that scenario, I like in my production environment I was working on this. I got a situation where we need to migrate, and when I check for any videos or support, I didn't found I found very less videos and some less information. So I done uh, some research and found some information. We done our testing and we are able to do it successfully. So I just want to share this information with our Student Blog uh, subscribers. So so that is the reason. So I'm doing these videos, a web series. So in this, like and first step, like we'll be configuring failover cluster in on Windows 2012 R2. We'll be using two boxes, and then we will add 2016 box to the existing cluster, and we will be moving the DB instance to 2016. So one actually we have if you add a 2016 to Windows 2012 R2 cluster, so that is called mixed mode. So we should not keep the mixed mode environment for long period, like 4 weeks, like is recommended. More than that, you will face problems. So Microsoft doesn't recommend to keep mixed mode failover cluster. So when you migrate the DB instance and upgrade the functional level of the cluster, you need to remove the old version of OS boxes from your cluster. So this should be the step one, which is very important. So as so for beginners, maybe the initial step, which is configuring failover cluster in 2012, will be helpful. So that is the reason I'm showing it from scratch. So this is um, like it's a overview diagram where we are using two 2012 R2 boxes. These are R2 boxes which are connected, and it is having a cluster network. So these two boxes should have a shared disk where a quorum of the cluster will be stored. So we will be using iSCSI storage. So we will be using Windows box for this. So these are all connected in class 24 subnet, that is 192.168.0.x series. So this is the overview diagram. So we'll be adding another 2016 box here and a 2012 box, 2016 19 box here. Once the upgrade is done to 2016, we'll be removing these two 2012 boxes. And once the resource is moved to 2019 box, we will be removing the 2016 box. So these are the steps we will be following. And I just prepared a few steps of like how what we'll be doing and all stuff. So I will be using 5 boxes for this lab. This is these two are Windows 2012 R2 boxes, and I am using one 2016 box and one 2019 box. So our last video will be ending with the 2019 box, like failover cluster box. So we are using a domain controller which is 192.168.0.30, and to get down one machine utilization, I'm using the same domain controller as iSCSI storage, that is a target server, iSCSI target server. So I have added for that. Actually, we need to add a disk to the domain controller, additional disk to the domain controller, which will be added to SCSI target server pool, and that will be provisioned between all these servers, so that it is like shared between all. So I'm just skipping few steps, like building the VM, adding it to domain, assigning IP, all this stuff, because these are all already shown in our in my previous videos. So all these are all already built and added to domain controller. So basic steps, important steps you need to remember is like enable RDP on the server, and disable firewall on all servers. So that is important, because when you configure failover cluster, if firewall is enabled, it will be shown as an error. So as a basic step, I disabled it on all servers, and I have installed .NET Framework 3.5 on all the machines. So these are the servers and these are the IPs assigned. So this will be the cluster IP. So I will be naming cluster as vStudent. So the as our this is a test environment. I'm like, and even a database server, database instance also I will be giving the same name, or maybe I will change it. So for now, like, yep. So database name we will give some SQL Pro DB. So just for naming convention we're giving it. So these are the steps. First we will create a iSCSI storage disk, and add it to all three servers. First we will configure it on our iSCSI storage server. Then we'll configure the iSCSI initiator on all three servers, and we will make sure that disk is visible in all three servers. So this is a step one that we will do it now. So we'll go step by step. So first thing is like, I will go to domain controller. This is my domain controller. So which is just FYI, you are not supposed to use as SKC controller server in a domain and a domain controller. This is a test lab, so we are doing it, but in production I don't recommend. So please don't do it. If you go to production, you may have like physical storages like NetApp filers or pure storage or EMC, anything like the storage admin will give the SCSI disk information to you, so that you can directly add it to your servers. So I have created a just FYI, I have created a SQL admin, that is I will be using it for all servers to log in and create the cluster information. So we don't require it anymore here. So let's configure the iSCSI target on this server. For that we need to go to server manager, go to add roles and features, click next, and here you need to go to file and storage services, expand this, and you need to enable this iSCSI target server and click next and install. So installation will take just 1 or 2 minutes. Once it is done, click OK. So that part is done. Once this is done, when you open the server manager, you will be able to see the file and the storage services, where you are able to see the disk or like everything. So before this I already added the two disks, so we need one disk, but I have two disks here. One is 30 GB and one is 40 GB. So I will just make them online. So make it a simple volume and assign the drive letter. I will give G and H. I will give some name. Cluster disk 1, and this is cluster disk 2, G and H, right? So disk 2, okay. So we have assigned drive letters, so both disks are online. You can close this one, go here. So in this we need to go to iSCSI, and if you see here we don't have any virtual disk assigned or any targets configured here. Go to task and create a new iSCSI virtual disk. So translate, 1 second. Still they are showing us offline. Let me rescan this again. Now they are online. Okay, so go to iSCSI now, create a new iSCSI disk and select the disk. Click next. So give some name. Click next and assign the storage size. So everything default. Next, create. So this is created. I'm adding the next disk also. So now disk is added. Okay, so go to properties and you need to add the initiators here. So let me, these are all old one. So we so so before this, like let's go to our uh, so here like on the destination servers, we need to go to manage, then tools, and you need to enable iSCSI initiator here. And once this is done, we need to give the IP of the iSCSI target server at 168.0.30. So once you click it, it's connected. Click OK. So this is already done. So you need to do the same on all three servers, which I already done it. So still I'm showing it for you guys. Go to tools, iSCSI target, and give the IP. It's already connected, so no need to give it again. So just click it and it's done. So if you go here and like you need to give the server names here, just like, so I already done it, so that is the reason they're already pop up there, but I'm just showing the process. So just put the server name here and so 2019 box still in progress, so it won't be as that. So already selected, that is the reason like we are getting this. So these are the servers, like once you click OK, these will be listed here. So these are the servers, these are other servers which I already configured, which doesn't require. So click OK. So it's done, apply. Okay, so this is done. So we are able to see there that, so disk is already assigned here. You are able to see, just make it online. And oh, what happened? make it online, then initialize. So we can add the 40 GB disk also. So, but for now I'm adding only 30 GB, and give the disk later anything you want, like E is fine. So name it as a cluster disk. So now this is online now. So if you go to server 2, that is this one, it should come up, or else we need to scan again and see. So this is inactive, so make it connect. Let's see what's going on. Okay, all three are visible now. Click apply. Okay, let's see if disk is visible or not. Still it's not visible. So now disk is online, visible, so we need to just make it online. So while configuring this type of issues will come up, we need to fix it and proceed further. So done. Click OK. So disk is online now, cluster disk. So when it is there, just we need to enable it. So 63 now, it is all on all three servers. We are able to see that disk is online. So now this step is completed. So now we'll be going to configure MS cluster on server 1, that is 61. This is the server. So for this, go to server manager, add role, click next, then next, click next. You need to select failover cluster, add feature, finish, install. So we will be doing the same on other servers also. 60, 61, go to manager, add role, next, failover cluster, add feature, finish, and install. So the 2016 box, we won't be adding it to the cluster now, but we will install the rule for now. So so 61 and 62 are 2012 are two boxes, and 63 is 2016 box. So role is installed, click close this one. Once the role is installed, if you go to Windows like administrative tools, you'll be able to see two services, that is cluster awareness, cluster aware upgrade, update, as well as failover cluster. Click on failover cluster. So now failover cluster is available. So even to make it available on the task bar, you just right click and pin to task, so that it will be available here. So now uh, this is a failover cluster manager. Right click, so you can validate the configuration before you create a cluster and do the stuff. So next, so you need to give the cluster name. So we have decided to give the cluster name as vstudent, so we'll give that. Oh, sorry. So this is for validation, like whatever the servers, cluster servers you want to add, that is we need to add these servers. So our servers are like this one, and this one. So we'll be adding these two servers. Click next. So here, this is first time we are doing our configuring our cluster, so we can run all tests. So if you are already having a cluster established and it is in production, so we need to select only test isolate, run only test isolate, because we'll discuss and we'll show you like live what happens when you run all tests. So for now we'll run all tests. So these are all the tests going to be conducted on both servers. Click next. So it will take few minutes. So it will test all network, storage, everything, and it will give warnings as well as errors if anything is there. So warnings can be ignored, and if any errors are there, that has to be fixed. So if you see here, like validating disk, it was taking offline, disks are taking offline and online. So when it is in production, it will like the dib instance will go down when the disks are offline. So that is the reason we have to skip the like a disk validation in the production when they are like it's already in production and they're online. So now the test is running on server 2. So you can see the uh, process, what's happening in the below this. So the test is currently running for network communication. So if you see here, Windows firewall configuration, if you forgot to disable firewall, it will give error, it will give a warning here. So we need to fix it by disabling the firewall. So till now everything is green, that is a good sign. So error, like test has completed successfully. So everything looks green, but for network it's showing warning, so that can be ignored, warnings can be ignored. So a test is successful, and you can view the report also in HTML format, where can see the same here, what all has done, and everything visible here, everything looks good. You can go through it if you want. So once this is done, click finish. And now it's big time to create a cluster name and all. vstudent is my cluster name, and we need to give the IP. Okay, so this is IP we are going to give it for that, 0.60. Okay, it says it is already in use. We'll give 1 and see. Yeah, maybe have given the same name with to any computer. So whenever we create the cluster name, that our computer object will be created in the active directory. So let's see if it is created. Yeah, so it's already there, so that is the reason it is not allowing us. So once we click OK there, the another object will be created here. So we'll go here and click close. Let's see, we are on, sorry, 62. Okay, 61, click next. So now new cluster is getting created and assigning the cluster IP, everything. See, the new computer object is created. Now better we'll delete this. So better to clean the old computer objects to avoid the conflicts. So now create cluster is created and you can see the report. Every report looks good, so that's fine. Click finish. Once you click finish, you will be able to see the cluster name. Okay, and nodes, 2 nodes are already added. So if you go to 62 and run failover cluster, so 2 nodes are here, and storage disk, which is our 30 GB quorum disk, NAS disk is here. So this is added, so it looks good now. So we need to create the role now. So that is our, so here this one, step 1 is done, step 2 is done, step 3 is done. Now it's time to install SQL database. So I will be using SQL 2016 for this lab. So yeah, we'll configure this step 4 in our next video. So we have some challenges while configuring the ISKC disk. That's quite common. So whenever do our lab testing before, we would have configured few things which conflicted, but till this part we are good. And we'll configure a new database instance in our next video. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.